For thousands of years, the Jedi Order stood as a beacon of peace and justice within the Republic. Revered and respected by citizens, this esteemed perception, however, began to deteriorate over time, particularly during the period of the Clone Wars and the rise of the Galactic Empire. As the era changed, so did the people's view on the Jedi Order, and the destruction of the Jedi Order during the Clone Wars marked a pivotal moment which left many in shock and despair, while others, influenced by the Empire's propaganda and the growing hatred of the Jedi, viewed their fall as a necessary step to a new order. But how did the galaxy as a whole react to the destruction of the Jedi Order, and why were many happy about it? To answer that question, we first need to look back to before the Clone Wars. During this time period, the galaxy was largely at peace, with very few, if any, large-scale conflicts taking place within the Republic. And yet, even in this time frame, people started to view the Jedi in less than a positive light. Over time, people started to view the Jedi as kidnappers of children who were taking infants to train them in their cult. And while this wasn't entirely true, a lot of people did believe this, but there was also a majority of people who did not. There also was a growing population of citizens who believed that the Jedi were serving a corrupted government that valued power and politics over the people who inhabited the Republic. And there actually was a lot of proof to back up this claim. Like we saw in Tales of the Jedi, planets that didn't hold much significance to the Republic were mainly left in the gutters. And who was there to enforce those policies? The Jedi Order. And this did begin to plant seeds in the minds of the people that maybe the Jedi weren't who they said they were. But then when the Clone Wars started and Palpatine rose to power, the Jedi started to receive much more hate and disdain from the public, who many believe that the Jedi were the reason the war even started. After all, the leader of the opposing faction was a former Jedi, and Palpatine didn't help this at all. In fact, he wanted this to happen, and even stated on multiple occasions that the Jedi were to blame for the war. And for the citizens who lived in this time period, they saw the Jedi as major hypocrites who were supposed to promote peace and justice, and yet they were generals leading the war and clones into battle. In fact, as more time passed, more and more people began to rebel against the Jedi, so much so that they even formed riots outside of their temple. But despite all the hate they got, many people still viewed them as heroes, such as the Twi'leks. But after Palpatine became Emperor and told the galaxy that the Jedi betrayed him and the Republic when trying to kill him, the people were outraged, and many of the few supporters that the Jedi had left vanished. And the newly appointed Emperor would further solidify their hatred by creating false allegations about the Jedi, by saying they were crime lords and that Mace Windu was the head of a very powerful crime organization that tried to kill him. He also would create many fake stories about Jedi Council members and Masters, depicting them as these evil and violent creatures. And unfortunately, many people would believe this and grow to hate the Jedi even more. But for some people like the Twi'leks, who fought alongside Mace Windu and many other Jedi, would not believe this and still viewed them as heroes. There also was many senators who knew the Jedi personally and did not fully believe Palpatine. But if anyone tried to speak out against this, they would be severely punished, which could have been anywhere from imprisonment to execution. So many people would keep quiet to hide from the wrath of the Emperor. But they would secretly join the rebellion to help take down the Empire. During this time, Palpatine would also put out so much anti-Jedi propaganda, to the point that wherever you went, you would see propaganda depicting the Jedi as cruel and evil beings. But very slowly over time, people would start to see the Jedi as heroes once again when they fought back against the Empire and led the rebellions to many victories and liberating many planets. But even after the fall of the Empire, the Jedi's reputation was so tarnished. Even after multiple years, Luke's Jedi Order wasn't even fully welcomed back into the New Republic, despite Luke being the leader of the rebellion and helping them gain independence from the Empire. And for the clones who fought alongside the Jedi, in canon, many did feel regret about what they did, even though it was the Inhibitor chip who made them kill the Jedi. But there was many clones who were very pleased with Order 66 and happy that they got to kill their Jedi general. In Legends, the clones didn't have an Inhibitor chip, but instead were trained to kill the Jedi if they were ever given the order. So because of that, many would comply without a second thought, but some clones like Commander Bly would feel ashamed about Order 66 and would try to kill their general, which was Aayla Secura, as quickly as possible to make sure that she didn't feel any pain. And some clones like the Jedi Commandos would just flat out refuse the Order 66 and help the Jedi. Either way you look at it, the galaxy was actually very happy about the Jedi Order's destruction. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure to comment down below if you would be a Jedi, Sith, or Mandalorian, or any other faction in the galaxy, and why. Make sure to like and subscribe, and with that, my fellow Star Wars nerds, may the Force be with you.